Hey, Photo Boo, how you doing? Hey guys, hey, how you guys doing this evening? Sorry for the damn delay. Child, I don't know what's going on with Walmart, but Nala bed wasn't supposed to come to the 19th, and her mattress as well. That shit came today, and Walmart's supposed to come yesterday. It hasn't came yet, which I'm mad about because my goddamn steamer is in there. That I need to do that so her dad could paint the walls. Well, paint some of the walls. I'm trying to hire somebody to paint her focal wall with the design. But anyway, that's why I was a little late because her bed came and I had to struggle. He helped me somewhat to get it. He helped me with it in my apartment door, but I had to struggle to get it out the way. But anyway, as you guys know, there's been a lot of goddamn talks about Yousef and these other things, the speculations, the truth, the court reports, whatever, whatever. I have not watched Everybody Live because I see that it's a lot of self-serving messages of truth going on. And I like to talk to the source and basically do my own fact checking about certain situations. So when Yusuf first contacted me on IG or whatever, because he said that he didn't have well, I just talked to him on the phone this morning, but he said he didn't have his contacts or whatever. And he had like my old phone numbers, and he didn't have this one. But I had this number for years, but he didn't have this one for whatever reason. So as we were talking, because it was brought up to me about like the argument with the parents and the age being 15. These are things that I did not know like during text messages. Like he mentioned the parents, but not in the way people were speaking. So I wanted to talk to him just to see like what happened with that. So basically, from what I'm gathering from now talking to him, he said that because I just want to speak about the facts, and then we're gonna talk into like this whole other conversation that's going on. So based on what he told me, he said that I he was on Grinder. He talked to the guy. He said all of this happened in a span, I think 30 minutes. He said all of this happened in a span of 30 minutes. He was talking with the guy on Grinder. They exchanged numbers. They went to text. They started exchanging pictures. And he said that the guy sent him the first picture was like a picture of him like bent over. And he took like a picture of his butt, but it was like jeans, but he had like boxes underneath, so it wasn't like a bare butt. Then I guess he sent like a chest photo and then maybe a face. And he said, and then the face, he's like, because this is what was news to me when we had that conversation because Yusuf knows how I feel about like older men or women dating somebody so much younger than them. I always thought it was creepy when I was younger, when I was like 18, 19, and guys would try to pursue me. The only way I would talk to them was to like milk their pockets, but it was always like, you just got to be safe. But anyway, the way we did it, like, no, me and my friends are going out with you. We're going to run your pockets and then you're going to get, well, in that time, it wasn't really no cell phones like that. So it wasn't an option to block, but basically never hear from us again. But, yeah, because that's creepy. I like you're like 30 years old. I'm only 18. Like, what do we have in common here? Or even older than that. Like, it doesn't matter. But I've always thought that was creepy. And to my knowledge, he didn't date anybody that age. Because, like I said, we done had plenty of discussions about how like they excuse that with boys dating like older women. Not even like I never even discussed it in the gay sense, but we always talk about that like the stereotype. Because I used to be offended when my son was younger. that like I always said that I will pursue charges against any grown woman that tried to date my son, because a lot of guys see there's a rite of passage and I think it's creepy. And we were always like, that's why it was just amazing me with that situation. So you just telling me that, and I know prior to this he was in a relationship with a guy. And when he broke up with that guy, I know he was like feeling like really like depressed or whatever. And he said he was gonna start going in dating sites. And what he did tell me is that like the other case with him supposedly being in a hotel, that's being, he said that's not true at all. Made up story, never happened, because that was my understanding. He never had a history of this, because that was my main thing. Like that. But then, like I said, I just found out on the call this morning that he did said that he you know, normally he would date 24 and up, but now he was like considered 18. And even though he said, even though the age of consent is 16, I was like, well, that's weird. And he's like, yeah, I would never do 16. But he said basically, because I asked him where did they get the age 15 from, and he was like, well, when we exchanged locations, we were supposed to meet. He said, I got to tell you something. And he was like, and normally, because he's saying like it's like a, I guess like a common thing on these hookup sites. I wouldn't know, but on the grinding thing, like they exchange exchange news, exchange numbers, and then they meet up. He's saying this all happened in 30 minutes. But when he said when the guy said I had to tell you something, what it was how the child said, he said, I'm 15 and a half, I'm about to be 16 though. And then he said he ended communication. But then he said he acknowledged that he should have, because I'm like, why wouldn't you, what up, Sassy Francis? I said, you should have alerted the app or whatever. He was like, yeah, but I was scared because I was like, I didn't want to get caught up in nothing. Then he said somebody had texted him asking, is this you? So he said he didn't respond, but then he got a call from a random number and he answered it. And they was like, why you're naming my son's phone? And he was like, who's your son? And they was like, you know who he is? And he was like, nah, I want to know. And then he was like, they wouldn't give him a name, but they kept like threatening and cursing him. So he was like, I just hung up and blocked the person. And he said, but it was he like I didn't argue with them. And because it wasn't the number that he knew from the little boy, that's why he didn't recognize who they was talking about. And then so he's acknowledging that he should, but like I said, that's something you definitely should do, especially if you're willing to date like an 18-year-old person. Because to me, like, I don't know. I just couldn't do it. They look so young to me. I just so I had to say that because I just noticed that it wasn't a lot of up uproar when they came out here with the MC Shaky person, and then the type of guys Lemon be around. There was no uproar about that. It was all excuses. That's why I was like, is this really about children or just attacking? Because to me it's all wrong. Like I explained to Yousef, if you're gonna be dating somebody that's like 18, you really need to check for ID because they could just tell you that. Even if the legal age of consent is 16, which is disgusting. Because I told you guys, I didn't realize the legal age in New York City. I always thought it was 18 until my older daughter got older and she was being harassed. And we was going to pursue charges of like, of guys where she worked at constantly coming to like, I believe at that time she was working like Chick-fil-A. But that's when we found out the legal age was 17. So my daughter would always say 16. And this guy would like come in there and trying to ask to see her ID and stuff. You know what I'm saying? To the point we had to switch her location. Her dad would have went to jail because like if she says she's 16, she's 16. Who are you to demand ID? She doesn't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So I do always we had so many discussions about that. I think that's creepy behavior to want to date somebody just because they age legally say you can, but like morally you should never do that. So yeah, so I talked to Yusuf about that. He said that basically the Facebook thing that people were talking about is how he got bond. The reason why he didn't get bond is because they were The child has been communicating with several men, but apparently they put it all on him. And the only messages he had was from Grinder and text messages when they took it off Grinder. He said that's like all in the span of 30 minutes. But the Facebook messages came from another man. And then the prosecutor kept saying she instead of God. So I don't know if it was a technicality or, well, he said he definitely never messaged him on Facebook. And it was another guy. And then the prosecutor kept, I think he said the prosecutor kept referring to the person as a she, like the victim as a she, but it was definitely another male. So it was two things that they was saying wrong, which helped with his bail. And the second thing was that he never actually met with anybody. And like I said, I asked him about the hotel thing that they're claiming with four white boys, and he was like, "That's definitely not true. Never happened. He's never had any criminal record, not even a traffic ticket. Prior to this, he never had a traffic ticket. And I do know that he wasn't on. Well, I don't know. I can't swear for nobody at this point. But I do know prior to this, like he broke up with his ex, like I think like a year ago. He was very depressed about it. He moved and everything. And he was saying that's the guy that had went with him to Dobie's house. Hey, Viber Love. So he was like, because I told myself, well, Miss Dobie said that she seen you pull up to her house with a young guy. And he was like, that's not true. That was my ex. And I know exactly the county that he used to live in. That's why I don't understand if you're going to be putting allegations out here like that. I don't understand why you won't give the city or state that it happened or the court papers. Like, if you're going to talk about it, just put it all out so people could do their own research. And it doesn't seem like messages are true because, like I said, Eustace already know how I feel about this because, like I said, this was news to me that he would even date an 18-year-old because he knows how I feel about that. I don't like that. I think it's weird. You know what I'm saying? I think it's weird. You know, but I don't know. What up, Gigi? I'm not gonna say like he would intentionally do that, but I do think that now that he told me that he said that he was okay with meeting up with an 18-year-old, he definitely needed to check ID. That definitely should have happened because I don't know how you could do it with the ID being 18, but still, that's something that should happen because yeah, and and he did lose a lot in this situation, but like he said, he's telling me that the reason why is because a lot of things that was put on his caseload initially had nothing to do with him. Apparently, the child either is talking to other men on Facebook, but he said their conversation started in Grinder and it switched over to text messages. And then he was saying that it was an all 30-minute span. And then he said, I asked him, did he get a face pic? And he said, yeah. He said, and that's what he was like. He was looking at the face like, well, I was like, so once you saw the face, you should have been like, well, show me ID. Like, send me the ID. It is MSGG. It's crazy. It's crazy. Cause like I said, I never knew he would date an 18-year-old because we had so many discussions about this in the past. Like I'm telling you. Yeah, and I'll be fake because remember when they brought that guy Shaky over here and you seen the boys he was around, you seen the guys that be around Lemon, accusing Lemon of inappropriate actions with them. And he's saying, oh, they're 18, they're 19. I don't think that's okay. And that's what I'm trying to say. Because if Yusuf would have displayed that behavior to me, like if I used to be on the phone with Yusuf and I see him around a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old and early 20s, I'll be looking at him like, yo, what's going on with you? But like I said, ever since I known Yusuf, it's he was in a relationship with a guy I think Yusuf was older than him, but not like crazy, like that. I think it was like a 7 to 8 year difference or something like that. It wasn't nothing crazy. And I knew they had been in a relationship a while. But my thing is, how genuine are people concerned? Because there has been a lot of that going on. And when I talk about it with their friends, It's a problem. See me, like I said, if I would have seen Yusuf doing what Lemon be doing, no way we could have been cool, especially for these many years. If I seen Yusuf with the tendencies that official Peen Sucker has, no way we could be friends. You see what I'm saying? So there was no history of that, but these people have supported people with a history of doing nasty things to kids, saying nasty things about kids, acting inappropriately, sexually, like sexual things that's really crazy to me. So I didn't see a sign of that. What up, Queen Tracy? And I even asked him, I said, why are you like contacting all of these people? I don't think that's a wise decision, right? And I even told him, like, well, it's not really going your way. And I understand that you want to get your word out here. But at the end of the day, these people are out here to look upright and righteous. Because if you think about the things that they're saying and the type of people they have aligned themselves with, is how much truth is in that. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like this could open up a people eyes for real. Like I want the performatives to stop. I don't think they should be like we gotta wait till the court case find out. But some people ain't never been caught and probably never will be. But there are signs there. So that's why I said I didn't see signs of any of that. And he uses my friend, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because this is crazy. This is crazy. And like I said, I had no idea he would even date an 18-year-old because we have talked about this. So it's like it's all this new information that I never expected from him. And it changes a lot of dynamics for me. And I'm not gonna say he's guilty. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying like, well, now we need more stuff to come on. Like I said, I did ask him about the thing, and he still says like he has never had a history of anything, not even much as a parking ticket that is made up. It's not true. He told me, yeah, they said the kid was 15. I was asking him where they get the number from because he never told me no number. And when I talked to him this morning, he said that after they exchanged news on Grind, no, he said they exchanged text messages on Grindr. Then they took it off of Grindr to the cell phone, and they started exchanging nudes. And then he said that they exchanged locations, and when they were supposed to be about to meet up, the kid was like, "I got to tell you something," and he was like, "What?" And he was like, the kid was like, hey, right to be told, boom. He said the kid told him that he was 15 and a half, but he was about to be 16. And I'm like, 16? And he was like, oh yeah, and we're out here at 16 is legal. And I'm like, that's so weird. But that's still not okay. And he was like, yeah, I know. But that's when he told me he had lowered his threshold to 18 because normally 24 would be the youngest. And that's what I told him. Like, if you're gonna lower it to 18, then you definitely need to be checking for ID. I don't know why a person like I'm not me personally, I'm not saying people gotta be like me, but I would never date nobody, not even a day younger than me, but even older than me, like there's a cap, like after 10 years, because I feel like old people can give you worms and stuff. So that's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. But as long as I've known Yusuf, he's always been in a relationship. So like I said, I've never seen any behaviors that like made me uncomfortable. Even like I said, we would have so many conversations, especially in terms of this. Cause like I said, I remember when my daughter started working and stuff like that. And sometimes customers would come into her job like grown ass men in their 30s and 40s, harassing her, keep coming back, asking for her to take like she was like sometime when some of them would come in, she would have to go to the back and they'll still try to get her to take their order and stuff, asking her how she could be working there and she was only 16. Weirdos, because the age of consent in New York City is 17. But you're a whole grown ass man. Why would a 17-year-old be interested in you? And most of the time when kids that young are into like old people like that, is usually like a survival tactic. They need a roof over their head. You know what I'm saying? They need money in their pocket. Or I'm thinking, because like that's what I always said. Like I can't see no 17, 18-year-old want to date no old ass man unless it was like some life survival type thing, or they're suffering from trauma, like as a child, like something happened. That's what I always assume. And I always assume that people that would go there, they go 18 because they don't want to face legal consequences of going younger. And he knows we always had that conversation. So that's why I was so shocked when he told me that. I'm like, what? And that's with boys and girls, you know what I'm saying? Because there's something wrong with you as an adult to want to date at 18 for any reason, you know? Because to me, you're taking advantage of somebody's trauma, you know? Because it's some type of trauma with the teenager that want to be with a grown ass person. Hey, YouTube cameras. Okay, hold on. Let me take this person so they can help. There we go. I tried to let them talk, but you're doing too much. So, like I said, if I would have seen any signs, we would not be friendship. And that's what questions me, because we got a lot of these women that sit up here attacking children, talking under their clothes, all because they're mad at the parent. We got these grown men on here talking nasty about children. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's physically or natural, you know what I'm saying? And then they do a lot of things that's weird, like in the daytime, letting it all hang out in the middle of the world. But these people are supported. And when other people bring it up, you are told that you have the problem. So that's what makes me question these people, because I've been questioning these type of behaviors, and I received a lot of pushback from the same people that claim to be up in arms, right? Y'all will never see Nyla on here naked in any shape, form, or fashion, because I know about predatory behaviors and how people could take any little thing. That's why I don't even let Nala wear two pieces to the sprinklers. Or, well, we don't do pools in New York City because I already told y'all the pools here are disgusting. I get some people say the private ones are good. We haven't tried it yet, but we don't go to pools. But like even to like the sprinklers, I know Queen Tracy, we love you too. So I have done a lot of things to try to prevent things on my side. I pay attention to the signs around me. So I hate when people are trying to put brands on me, and now they have selective outrage. All of a sudden, they have all of this knowledge. But if you think about the people that they have co-signed and the things that those people do towards minors, towards sexual deviancy, and they sat right there and said nothing. And they also even had the nerve to say, well, it's not my child. Uppity has never done that. Hey, Empress, just Empress. Hey, Miss Barbara Warren sponsor, what's up, boo? So Uppity has never been. I've actually fallen out with a lot of content creators and subbies for defending subbies in the chat or other CCs who never even deserve my defense of things they do against people, womanhood and sexuality, hate to earth me and other children. I just recently stopped because they're not worth my blood pressure possibly getting raised and, prolonging my teeth journey. Yes, we know, Barbara Warren. Thank you. We love you too. So yeah, I just find it strange, and I wanted the intentions on all of these things, because some of these women. Because one thing you never see is uppity being behind the scenes trying to destroy anybody's life over bullshit that people claim happened on the internet. The only time I've ever done that is when they tried to reach out into my real life, and I have to protect myself. And I had to play the They I don't know if they think they're playing psychological warfare, but that's the game that certain CCs would turn into on here. But me personally, I never tried to reach out and touch anybody's life. I've never done it. I don't care. Like just when everybody was trying to rise up against Jay Dunn, I never did it. You can't find one panel of me. It doesn't matter what the situation was. When they brought out the charges of Lemon's father, I didn't dogpile on that. I didn't do a live because that's Lemon's dad. You know what I'm saying? But I did speak up when I seen him constantly around them little boys, them twinks. I understand they 18, but or 19, but you're in your 30s. Why are you hanging with them? Why are they saying these things about you? And we seen a bunch of women get on the panel and try to explain it away and attack anybody. And that's what Uppity is not doing that. I feel like people have to be right. But my only thing was don't make up stuff, especially considering the type of people y'all hang around and the type of things that they do in real life and say they will do online. Because whether you did it or not, just like I don't know whether Yousef did it or not, but the fact that he put himself in this predicament with an 18-year-old and he knows better, we have these conversations, you know, and I understand he was depressed or whatever, but you don't do stuff like that. And you wouldn't even be in a situation. Thank you, Nene Boo. Appreciate that. You are the underdog that rose from love. Day one spill. You already know you my day one babes. So yeah, so I don't like the narrative being put out here and people are being praised, but people forget if that was how they really feel, why were they co-signing these type of people for so long? Like even when I wasn't even getting along with Roman, I didn't call him a PDF, but Poverty did. She called him a PDF and then was right back in his chat a couple of days later. And they be back and forth with each other. See, I don't play games like that when it comes to children. Just like I don't want nobody playing with mine. My daughter constantly gets attacked on this site by adults on a daily basis, and they try to come at all angles. And a lot of people just let that shit go and make excuses for the CCs or the subbies that get on like attacking Nyla. How much do you really care about children? Because it doesn't stop and start at one thing. Because a person that hurt a child, there's no limit to what they will do. And I'm not up here putting Nyla naked up here. I don't even put Nala on people's pages. I don't have because that's what's like holding me back kind of from even creating a family page. I don't show y'all where Nala goes all the time. Like y'all don't like I'll take y'all to a place that Nala may have liked, but for whatever reason, if we do visit, it'll be like random. But y'all don't know where excuse me. Hey Hills Enlisted, excuse me a second. I'm sorry. Y'all and now nobody will know where I live at. That period. But Nala has a lot of extracurricular activities that she does. And now that we done moved, thank God, I could put her in gymnastic again because we did it. But one thing I learned because we had moved, it was like a sudden move we need to do. But anyway, I learned that once you give them that money, you cannot get it back, baby. And they demand the money up first. So it was good for Nala, but she only got to go for like 6 months. And I paid for like a year. So I said, and it was like, because Nala, that's what she likes to do. So I want to enhance that in her, whatever, but and make her do it safely. Because Nala, she gonna swing and jump up. She gonna do all of that, you know. And now I'm thinking about like finding her like a little boy sport. Because Nala's really good at throwing, might be baseball. So I might do her a little tomboy sport. But I really want to get her back into gymnastics. Now that I move, I could safely pay the money and I ain't got to worry about it. Because I was mad as hell. I had to leave and they would not give me my money back. But I had to read the contract and that's what it is, you know. So whatever. But yeah, that's the thing I want to say. It's not me defending nobody and information came out to me, you know. But like I said, don't be selective about what you guys found weird and predatory because it doesn't matter the person. It doesn't matter the person. It doesn't matter how many numbers they get. It doesn't matter how likable they are to you. When you see certain behaviors, you call that shit out. I don't care how long you like the person, how much you like the person, how long you know the person, because nobody knows everything about anybody. And what I can't do is give Yusuf the benefit of the doubt, but I am gonna tell him like it. But I told it doesn't look good for him, and he has taken accountability. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, only thing I can do is watch this play out, and I hope he takes my advice going further and stop communicating with people. Just like work it out with his lawyer, do what he got to do to recover his own life, because this is something that's going to affect all type of thing, housing, work, all of that. You said start with tennis up with the two of you also support. Oh, you know what, Miss Barbara, that's a good idea because that could be a bonding moment. I didn't think about that. You're right. I should start with tennis. Like that's gonna be something when it where they get better though. But gymnastics, I want that to be something that she do like a year round thing because it helps with like diet, motor skills, and she loves swinging and flipping and all that stuff. But she throws too, so I wanted to start with a little tomboy. I don't know why I thought baseball, tennis is actually a better thing. You're right, and that's something we could do together. Yeah, but uppity about to be one of them sports moms. But yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say. And I'm just side eyeing a lot of these people with all this vitriol, considering the type of shit they sat silent for. You're not fooling me, and this is not excuses. This is just the truth. I'm gonna look at everybody, including people that I think of as a friend, when I see certain behaviors. I didn't know these behaviors. I haven't. He never displayed it before, like these people online has displayed, and a lot of these subbies. And yeah, right. It's gonna be yeah, it looks crazy to me, you know? And that's not making excuses, it's just telling the truth. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He knows what he did wrong, but I don't want to believe in my heart. But if I he knows if it's different, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't be cool with somebody like that. And then he also recognized like you can't be talking to no 18-year-olds. You once you turn 24. I even told my son that. And it had nothing to do with dating. It's just that he used to be like, my son likes to train, and they got their whole little community where they go back and forth about the transit system and the bus system in New York. It's all child, it's a whole, they know the whole history, and it's a whole lot. But I told my son, once you turn 18, you can't be going back and forth with them kids that's 16 and 17. Wait till they get to your age group. It's other people because the group is comprised of like a, and this is nothing sexual, but you don't want to be getting into a tough argument. Then somebody parent could be like, oh, you're bullying my child. So I even told my son that, like, cut the communication off with the people in the group that are younger than you. Don't talk to them anymore, even, and that has nothing to even do with sex. So, you know, I think more of that needs to go on all aspects. Because even me, you cannot make me go back with. I'm not going back and forth with no 18-year-old or 20-year-old girl. Mm-mm. I'm not doing it. And remember, I have like read the Heart of Philadelphia. I heard her say she can't stand me. Why? Because remember when we used to only talk about computer back, and I would tell you like, ain't you too old? Won't you? There's so many people on your neck. But that's why people don't like me. I call it out all across the board. So there's no way I'm not gonna call everything out across the board in this situation. I see a lot of you fake ass self-serving messages of the truth. And we ain't got to look no farther than the type of women and men that you guys have co-signed for years and the fuck shit that they do to little kids. I'm not even talking about the other shit that they do that's morally bankrupt to grown people for no reason. I'm talking about shit that's done to children on this app by these women and men, and y'all look around like nothing. Children shouldn't be harmed in any way. So, all of that is damaging to children's spirits and bodies, no matter how you look at it. So, I'm side outing you. Self messages are true. Um, while you condemning yourself, condemn yourself too, because he got some shit to look at, and so do a bunch of you bitches making videos. But anyway, I'm glad to know that they can never say that about me because I was raised right. Whether I like a person or not, I'm gonna call it across the board. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I'm gonna take the shit that come with it. I'm not gonna just ride the highs. Later, you guys. Nala. Oh, yes, another thing. Nala freaking bed came, but not. Oh, I think I told you guys that. So I'm really pissed. Even though Walmart has been trying to call me, updating me every couple of hours, but I'm really, really pissed. So I got to try to figure out how I'm gonna move this heavy ass bed into my closet, so Nala don't see this big ass box and think it's a trampoline. Not asleep now. That's another thing I need to work on. Our schedule is all the way around, like all the way around. I'll be up all goddamn night. And then eventually I get tired and exhausted, overstimulated. So I'll be going to bed with her ass. So even though I know, so this used to be my time to do stuff. So she probably gonna be up in a little while. I'm gonna start her breakfast, and I gotta follow up with the District 75 because I know they said they was finalizing her IEP last week. So I gotta call them and see what's the story with that, so I can get her back in school. Then I also gotta give the keys back, which I had planned to do today to my old apartment, but unfortunately they didn't come. But they promised today, so tomorrow I'm gonna go give the keys back to that old apartment so I could finally be done with them mentally. I don't want to think about that old place. And even my lawyer knows it, dealing with them. So they even giving me a break, and then we're gonna do what we got to do with that situation. But yeah, you guys, I just want you guys to think internally. Let this, because what Yusuf did is not right. Especially now that I know that he lowered the bar to 18 and he know his age. That's not cool. No 18-year-old truly wants to be with an adult. You know what I'm saying? And people that attack children because they, for whatever reason, it's not cool, especially if they don't show any remorse and it's a continued behavior. Um, People, keep your kids off the line, especially when they're not old enough to consent. And when your children are online, make sure they're fully clothed because Chesters, they take anything. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Like I told you, Nala can't even go to the sprinkler in a two-piece. And Nala doesn't have weight problems. It's just nope. I don't want nobody sneaking no pictures. Nala got on a whole one piece and shorts over it. Okay. Some little cheap. I buy them little cheap shorts all the time. I keep a bunch of them. They're not worth nothing, but they good for water play and the sprinklers. And I'm probably gonna check out some private pools this time in New York City once I get everything settled. So, because I would never go to a pool in New York. It's disgusting. But anyway, you guys, let me try to stop procrastinating and push this heavy ass box in the fucking room. Hopefully, I don't fucking break my back or nothing because my bed didn't come. I'm sleeping uncomfortably right now, but I wanted to finish Nala Food first, so I'm about to start ordering my bed stuff. Later, you guys. Mwah, show kisses. Hey, Noble Rooster.